Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. It's your first time here. Hi, my name is Abigail. So today's video is a bit different. I want to talk about the realities of being in your 20s. So if you're in your 20s or you're about to enter them, then this video might save you from a few meltdowns. Obviously, I am still in my 20s and I've kind of experienced some of these things I want to talk about. And I want this video to be like a chit chat video, so you're free to also share your experience and opinions about some of the things I'm about to talk about or about to share. Okay? Yeah. So everyone says 20s are the best years of life, but they do not warn us about the confusion, the loneliness, and the what am I even doing moments that comes with being in your 20s. They do not talk about these things. So in this video, I want to talk about the real side of being in your 20s that people don't talk about, but you probably need to hear them. The first one is friendships will change a lot. Yeah, that's the first one. You will lose friend not as a result of drama or beef or that you're having any issue with anybody, but because life is constantly pushing everyone in a different direction. And that is why you would lose a lot of friends. So your schedule or your schedule with certain people do not match anymore. Your priorities have changed, and sometimes you just naturally grow apart from these people. These are people you were once close with, but because life is happening, you naturally grow apart, and this is how you get to like lose a lot of people. I have been there. I have lost a lot of people, not because I had issues with them or one thing or the other, just that life happened. We're no longer compatible, if that makes sense. We're no longer compatible the way we were, and that is as a result of priorities changing. People have different things that they need to attend to, and that is why you get to lose these people. And when you grow apart from certain people, it doesn't mean that they are bad people, if that makes sense. They are not in any way bad. Life is just happening to everybody. Life is just happening. And I feel like a lot of people are actually throwing the word friend loosely. Like they call anybody and everybody their friends, which is not supposed to be. Okay? The word friend is a very strong word, in as much as it sounds kind of very simple or not really like a strong word. It's actually a very strong word for you to call somebody my friend. A friend is somebody that you know you can always like turn to when you have any problem, somebody you can call to for help. And a friend is somebody that looks out for your welfare, your well-being, somebody who would not intentionally hurt you. And even if they should hurt you in one way or the other, they will take accountability for the actions and try to mend the problem so that you guys can be on good terms. That is who a friend is. So if you have somebody you call a friend and you cannot think of calling them when you have problem, you cannot run to them, they don't think about you, those people are not your friends. So you don't call them your friends. And as I grew older, I kind of appreciate my kind of person because I'm very reserved when it comes to letting people into my space or having certain people as my friends. And I feel like it's as a result of how life has actually shaped me over the years of me growing up into an adult. And I kind of appreciate it. There was a time I was actually feeling bad for having such attitude, but let's not even go there. But I'm kind of appreciative of how I get to like shift out people before you enter into my space, if that makes sense. So I don't call everybody and anybody my friend. I kind of select my friends. So that is something you should do as well. That is something you should do as well, because you don't want to let everybody into your space. Then you become like, I don't even know what to use, but then again, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not everybody you call your friend or you let into your space. And because life is happening, you would lose people, you would lose friends, and that is okay. It's totally normal. It doesn't mean that those people that you're no longer talking to are bad people. It's just life happening. So the next one is you feel behind even if you're not. One of the dangerous things of being in your 20s is comparison. Comparison will steal your joy. Comparison will take away your peace, your happiness. And that is something that a lot of young people are experiencing, the constant need to compare themselves because they get to see people of their age buying houses, traveling, buying their own cars, and all of that. And you start to compare yourself. You start to feel behind. You start to feel like a failure. And this is where comparison now comes in. You start saying, oh, this person is this age, this person is my age mate. Why is this person achieving this and I'm not achieving this? What am I even doing with my life? Those kind of talks. These are actually not good. And I also want you to bear in mind that these people that are achieving so many good things, some of them are struggling silently. Some of them are not showing you their struggles. They only show you what they want you to see, which is the rosy part. They only post that on social media. And social media has actually made these things worse. This comparison where you feel like, oh, pressure, oh, what am I doing in my life and all of that moment. I've actually been there, so I understand. But the constant need to always compare yourself or the constant need to always feel like you failure or you're not there yet is something that you need to control, if that makes sense. Because these people are not showing you everything. Some of these people got help to be able to achieve what they currently have. Some people are actually in debt because of these things that they are achieving. And the worst thing you can ever make while being young or while being in your 20s is being in debt because you're giving yourself more problems, more headache. Because when you end up achieving what you want to achieve, you still have somebody to pay, you still have your debts to clear off. You would not have a good night rest. You would not sleep well, obviously. So you don't have to always compare yourself. You don't need to feel like you're behind. I want you to understand that your journey is valid, even though it looks or seems slow, it's okay. Things would gradually fall in place. So this is another thing that a lot of young people that are in their 20s are facing. They feel left behind because of the things that they see other people achieving. That is the second one. The third one is you question everything. And when I mean question everything, I mean things like your relationship, your career choice, the faith, and even the city you live in. I have had to question so many times that why am I even living in Nigeria? Because of the things that are happening, a lot of wrongs that are being normalized. Sometimes you just sit and you're like, oh my God, what am, what am I doing in this country? Let me just have this money and just leave this country. Do you understand that kind of feeling? But this phase are constant seasoning of figuring out things or correcting things, if that makes sense. It's not a phase of getting everything perfect. It can be scary, but it's also freeing because while being in your 20s, you still have that time to make changes. You also have that time to pivot. If you see that this thing is not working, you can still do it because you still have that time. That is one thing that is really precious about being in 20s. Honestly, when you're young, you know you still have that energy, you still have that zeal. So if you figure out that something is not working, you can quickly change it or pivot. Okay, the next one is taking care of yourself is harder than you think. This, honestly, this is not an easy thing. It's not really easy taking care of oneself. And as you grow older, you get to realize that adulting is not just about paying bills. It is not just about paying bills. It's also cooking for yourself, making sure that your mental health is in check, making sure that a lot of things are in place, showing up for work even when you don't feel like it. And when it comes to cooking for yourself, as a young person, I eat a lot of junks. Like, I don't eat actual food. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but you get the gist, you get the drill, okay? What I'm trying to say, you understand. I have come to realize that it's not helping in any way. It is not helping in any way, eating junks or trying to get food to eat outside. So as you grow older, you start to realize all these things and you want to take care of yourself, and that involves you cooking for yourself. You now have to like go to the market yourself, buy things you want to cook, and prepare a very good meal for yourself. And when you're preparing this meal, you know you're preparing a very healthy meal. You know what you're taking in into your body. That is what comes with adulting. You know, when you were still a child, you still have to like rely on your parents to like take care of you, give you what to eat. But now you have to take care of yourself. So you have to take this step just to take care of yourself, cooking for yourself, also keeping your mental health in check, making sure that you're okay. Because with the way things are happening in today's world, it can actually affect one's mental health. So it's your responsibility to take care of yourself and make sure that you're fine. Also, showing up for work, even when you don't feel like it, money has to be made and you have to show up at your place of work. If you don't show up, you cannot just one morning decide that you don't want to go to work. It's not possible because if you don't go to work, it means that probably your money will be deducted for not being at work and you don't want that. So you have to struggle to even show up at work. All these things can be mentally exhausting, which I understand because I've had to deal with all this, which I'm still dealing with, which I'm still dealing with. So yeah, I really understand. All these things can be exhausting, and people do not talk about these things. They do talk about it, but not as often as it should be. But all these small routines or these small steps are what builds the life we want. When you consistently do something, it becomes part and parcel of you that you no longer find it really difficult. So the next point is nobody has it all figured out. Yeah, nobody has it all figured out. The people that you think have it all figured out, or the people that you look up to, are still figuring out things. They're still figuring out life. That is one thing I want you to put in mind, that not everybody has everything sorted out. So, like I said, your 20s are not the years of everything being perfect. They're the years of you trying, learning, learning certain things, correcting certain things, trying and trying again. That is what your 20s are about. So give yourself that permission. Give yourself the grace to grow at your own pace. Do not rush things. The way I am actually saying this, to be very honest, I'm actually saying this to myself. Yeah. So give yourself that grace to grow at your own pace. Do not rush yourself. Do not force yourself. Do not feel overwhelmed by the things you're seeing, or do not think too much because of the stage that you're currently at. Just make plans and pray to God, and obviously everything would work out well by God's grace. Yeah, everything will work out well by God's grace. So if any of this resonates with you, leave a comment telling me one of the biggest reality check you've had in your 20s so far. Let me know in the comment section and let's talk about it. But trust me, you are not alone. Yeah, so this is how I come to the end of my video. If you enjoyed this video, please kindly give this video a very big thumbs up. If you got this far and you haven't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly hit subscribe button and turn the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I get to publish a new video on this note in my next video. Bye.